Raion, what's just talk about kind of your transition here to Auburn and how it's been since you got on campus.
It's really been a great transition, honestly. You know, from the weight room to the field, I learned so much just in the couple of months that I was here. It's been really smooth for me. You know, everyone around here is making it easier for me.
What's the competition been like? I mean, obviously it's a lot of guys in that defensive background. What's the competition been like in spring?
It's always going to be competitive. You know, everyone in there is really competitive. You know, as a person, and we always come in there to compete, give our best foot forward every play, every practice. And I mean, it's a brotherhood though. At the same time, you know, we push each other, and it's always going to be a good vibe in there.
What about Auburn was it that stood out to you out of the portal?
The tradition, the people, the coaching, you know, and I seen what they were trying to, you know, flip to be. You know, they were trying to be the SEC powerhouse, and this is something I wanted to be a part of.
Just talk about playing for Coach Crime. What's that like?
It's unique. You know, you don't really get coaching like that a lot, you know, as far as, you know, how good of a coach he is and how much he'll embrace you and tell you and lift you up as he's coaching you. You know, like getting coached by Coach Crime is definitely a great experience, something I've been like loving, you know, and something I probably really needed in my career.
Raion, just talk about the challenge of moving into the SEC. There's a lot of talented receivers, a lot of fast receivers. What's sort of your expectation? What are you looking forward to in terms of seeing how you match up?
I plan to win everything, but you know, the SEC definitely, like, our receivers here just alone, like, we got a group of great guys, like group of big physical guys and go get the ball, so you really can't take a play off, and it's really made me better since I've been here. But as far as matchups, I got me every time.
Do you bring a chip on your shoulder a little bit when you go from where you came from to going to the SEC? Do you feel like something to prove?
Definitely, it's something to prove to myself more than, like, you know, prove to the people, you know, because I know what I could do. Now it's time to prove it.
Which one of the guys here gives you the most fits when you're trying to shut him down, receiver-wise?
Ooh, Cam Coleman, I would say. Cam Coleman, he's a receiver that can go get the ball. He has tremendous catch radius. It's like some of the catches you don't think he's going to grab, he does. And then, like, you know, when you think he's not open, he creates his separation. He's a really good receiver, and like how young he is, he has a high ceiling.
Talk to me about getting recruited out of high school and going to Miami. Just you know who you are.
Yeah.
Do you kind of feel like you had bigger things in mind eventually?
You know, coming out of high school, you know, not being recruited as high as I really wanted to be, it definitely left a chip on my shoulder just going into Miami, knowing like, all right, this is where I want to be, this is who wanted me, and this is where I'm going to go play at. I really wasn't thinking about the transfer portal when I was there, though. You know, I was just working and grinding, just trying to make plays. And then when it was presented to me, an opportunity like this, I took it.
Why do you think bigger schools weren't after you in high school?
That's a good question, actually. I don't know.
You kind of wonder that sometimes?
Yeah, but actually, I would say I could have marketed myself better as far as out the coaches and everything, going to more camps, more global camps, more SEC and everything. I could have did more of that. I think that's where I probably limited myself at. You know, just getting exposure and exposing myself to these coaches.
You feel like your play on the high school field would speak for itself, kind of?
Yeah, you just got to turn on the tape.
Yeah, I see that.
What about Durkin's system that appealed to you, and what's it been like in the spring to get to learn it?
It's not that hard to learn, especially, you know, me as a person. I come in, I talk to all the coaches, and I always come in with Coach Crime just to go over the plays and everything, come watch the film, and like the system's really good. You know, all the DBs he has on the field, and he really plays to my ability of, you know, being a press man corner, using my length, and like everything he's been doing, I've been loving so far.
We've heard a lot about Blake Woodby and kind of him hitting the ground running this spring. What have you seen out of him?
Blake is a sponge. He's like, you know, for how young he is, you wouldn't think, like, you know, a kid would want to be able to grasp and learn so much information that fast. But I seen his attitude when he first walked in. Like, he's going to be really good in a couple years, if not this year. You know, like, I think he's going to be one of them players.
What about New Boy? He's another one of those guys. I know he's not in your room, but
yeah.
What have you seen out of him?
New Boy's real smart. New Boy, he knows everything on the field. He's always in the right place, and I think he can make a couple plays himself this year.
covered Jordan Crawford in high school up in Birmingham. From talking to your teammates, they say he's raising a lot of eyebrows. One of the strongest guys in there. What's it been like to get to meet him, and do you feel like he could be an immediate impact player on this defense?
I think he could be. I think, you know, as much as he's been working and how talented he is, I think, you know, you said it yourself, he can be an immediate impact. I think he's see the field this year.
For you, what's the focus as you guys wrap up spring and get ready to kind of start preparing for a season? What do you want to see out of the defense these last few days?
Communication. You know, as a whole, we have to communicate more, be polished on our fits, our alignments, our assignments. You know, just cleaning up the little things, because the little things is what really matters to us, and that's something we really preach on. Like, you know, the elite mental execution. If we get that right, we'll be fine.